Many times in society, we see relationships go in a order like this. You get together, you fall in love, you make it public, and for some reason you have a baby. That's weird. Why would you have a baby but not get married? They always skip over the marriage step, and that's what a lot of relationships do. They skip over the marriage step and then eventually they break up.
Nah, bro, get that out of here.
What's wrong with it?
Now, why does that happen? Well, when two people decide to do everything but marriage, naturally speaking, they're in the mindset that, okay, we're in a relationship, but it's not guaranteed. And as soon as you're in that mindset of no end goal of you guys being together forever, the relationship is doomed from the very beginning. You should be with someone that you look at and you're like, okay, I plan to marry this person. Because when you plan to marry, you plan to stay together forever. Don't listen to all the divorces you see around you and all the things that have happened. You know, those situations is a different topic for a different day. But here, you right now, the very foundation of a relationship is to make sure that you have an end goal in mind, and that is to be together. And if one person is there but the other isn't, there is no point waiting for that person, because naturally speaking, as you're in a relationship, why in a relationship if you don't plan on being with that person forever? Now, when it comes to marriage, marriage is a covenant in the church. And when you have a marriage covenant in the church, that means you're making a promise to God that you two are bound together, death do you part. So that means the relationship has to have God at the center of it. This is why we see a lot of relationships and a lot of divorces. People are getting married but not involving God in the center of it. And when you don't involve God in the center of it, you guys fall victim to all these petty arguments, these petty reasons to get divorced, and these petty reasons to break up. And what naturally happens is that God can't glue you guys together. God can't whisper into your ears when you're wrong, or whisper to your partner when they're wrong. You guys are just going off of your emotions, and which is very bad, because the Bible says the heart is very deceitful, who can understand it. You may feel angry about a certain thing one day, but tomorrow you don't even feel mad about it. But by then it's too late, because you two have broken up. So you need to make sure that you have God at the center of it. Now, what if you have God at the center of it, but you are still unsure that your relationship is going to last? The very easy way to know if the relationship is going to last is if the relationship glorifies God. A lot of people have God in their lives and they are Christians or things of that nature. However, the person they are with, they end up sinning with that person. And what's the main sin that relationship couples mainly make? Fornication. That's the main one. And you have to understand that God takes that sin very seriously. He takes every sin seriously. But when it comes to fornication, a lot of people will say that their relationship is of God, but they're still fornicating. Now, this isn't me judging anyone or making fun of anyone or laughing at anyone. I'm just telling you from experience how I suffered from the consequences of fornication and how I destroyed my relationship. Thank God it's brought back together now, but I saw the consequences of it. So I'm making a firm warning to you guys right now. If your relationship includes fornication every single time, it's not meant to last. Oh, but we abstain when we stay away from each other, but when we meet each other, we fornicate. That's a clear-cut sign. Now, there are ways to fix this. Don't think that just because you guys have fornicated a few times, that means you're meant to break up immediately. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. This is where you two need to start planning to make sure that you stay away from sexual sin. Because there's no game, right? Yes, you've made the mistake, but God's very merciful. He's very, very merciful. And if you two really put in the effort to make sure that you're not going to cause each other to sin, the relationship will work. But if it's a case where you're trying and you're not really putting the right measures into stopping the sin, eventually you guys are going to break up. And that's not because God hates you, simply because he wants to protect both of you. So you got to make sure that you are staying away from that sexual sin. And when arguments, you're staying away from anger or staying away from abuse or things of that nature. Those toxic things, God doesn't want his children going through that. Do you understand? So don't take it lightly. You guys should be together and should be able to abstain. It shouldn't be only when you guys are apart. It should be when you two are together. You guys can be in a room or in a place for an extended period of time and realize, okay, but we're still not going to fornicate. You feel me? The road to not fornicating is a tedious. It's not impossible. It's very, 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 very possible. It's just about a mindset shift. And a lot of people don't get that mindset shift. They have they know physically they have to stop, but mentally they're not there yet. They're not understanding the gravity of it. But me, I'm traumatized from why I needed to stop. So I really got the message loud and clear, because I love my partner and I want to be with her forever. So I'm going to do anything means necessary, whether physically, spiritually. I'm going to make sure that I'm washing my hands in this and doing the right things. And that's what you have to do as well. And that's the easiest way. There really is no other way, you know, because like I said, I told you guys that step, because when you plan for marriage, you start to understand, okay, what are the steps towards a marriage? If this is a relationship that is going to have God involved, what are we doing right now to make sure that God is glorified by the time we make a covenant with him? Because a lot of people, they've been fornicating. The signs are there that the relationship's not going to last, and they get married, you know, God's not really at the center of it because he never was at the center of it. So that's how you know for sure. If the relationship doesn't glorify God, it's not going to last. A lot of people will watch it down on Christians and say, like, that's not true, or whatever it is. Well, you'll see eventually, you know, but that's what it is. That's why we have most people getting divorced and split up, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens. God bless. Take care. I guess keep marching to God's will. God willing.